Good morning, 604.
Good morning, Miss Canella.
Good morning, Miss Canella.
And Mr. R, right?
Oh yeah, Mr.
Right? Can't forget about my other partner, my other half, the other teacher, right? He's my other half in math. Okay, anyways, so we're going to get started. So here's what's going to happen today. You're going to see a minute video on finding the absolute value. And after you watch the video on absolute value, we're going to do practice problems. Sound good? Bring the energy, 604. Come on, let's go. Here we go. All right, here it goes. Let me just go pull it up. And it is going to be coming now. All right, here's our 2-minute video on absolute value. You can watch it as many times as you need after class.
Hi, Specca Scholars. Today we're going to review how to...
Here it goes.
Hi, Specca Scholars. Today we're going to review how to find absolute value. But before we begin, we need to know what that means. Absolute value is the distance a number is from zero, or how many units it is from zero. Absolute value is always a positive integer. So for example, when you walk, right, your feet increase when you walk. You drive a car, the miles on the speedometer increase. It's always positive. So let's look at what this looks like on a number line. Draw a number line. We know that in the center of a number line, we always have the number 0. To the right of 0, we have our positive integers, numbers greater than 0. 1, 2, 3, 4, and so on. To the left of 0, we have our negative integers, -1, -2, -3, -4, and so on. Now, before we even go, I need to let you know that there's a special symbol that we have. So let's look at this example. We want to know the absolute value of -6. These brackets are read as the absolute value of -6 because that's the number inside. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to extend my number line, and on -6, I'm going to place a closed circle. Now, I asked myself, how far is -6 from 0? How far is -6 from 0? Start at 0 and I count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It is 6 units or 6 spaces from 0. Therefore, the absolute value is +6. Let's look at one on the positive side. If I want to know the absolute value of 2, I'm going to go to +2, put a closed circle. I'm going to ask myself, how far is 0 from 2? And I'm going to count. 1, 2. It's 2 units to the right of 0, so the absolute value is 2.
So what we want you guys to take away from this video is that absolute value is the distance, which means how far a number is from 0 on a number line. And it's always positive. So for example, right, if I'm going to actually move my chair. If I was to stand up right now, right, and if I was to walk towards my patio door, my steps are going to increase. When you go in a car, a train, a bus, or a subway, or an airplane, for example, the miles on the odometer are going to always go up. They're always going to increase. So the absolute value is always a positive integer. So for example, it can never be negative. So the absolute value of -3 is going to be 3 because -3 is 3 spaces, 3 units from 0. I want you to understand that absolute value is always positive. So today, every answer is a positive number, except if you have the absolute value of 0, because 0 is smack right in the center of a number line. So it's neither positive or negative. It's just 0 because you don't go anywhere. Make sense? Mr. R, you want to be the typist this time?
Don't have the thing open. I'm doing grade link right now for the
Okay.
attendance.
All right. Got you.
Justin's here.
No.
Emma Cancel.
Yes.
Boris.
Who?
Boris Castellanos. Okay.
Nope.
Ian.
Ian, yes.
David Dominic.
No, David.
Maria Estrada.
No, Maria.
Yerlin.
Yes, she's here.
Ramesses.
He's here.
Caleb.
No, Caleb.
Samari,
Yes.
Natalie.
Natalie, yes. Up. Justin just entered.
Okay, Justin's here. Okay. Sorry, what was I? And Adam,
Adam's not here. Natalie's here.
Juliana,
Yes, she's here.
Emmanuel Rivera,
No,
Keilani Roman,
she's here.
Brandon Romero.
No, Brandon.
Okay, Leanna Sanchez,
She's here.
Kevin Sandoval,
Absent.
and Abigail Torres.
She's present.
All right, perfect. So now that we're gonna get started, do you want me to be the typist?
Sure. I just have to share and give you hosting privileges, okay?
I'm gonna open it up now. Actually.
That's you,
You know-
Mr. R. You're up. Your turn.
Sorry that I joined late. It was that I had problems like trying to join.
No problem. You're here.
No excuses. I'm joking. I'm joking.
You're here. So we're
Did
gonna,
we already watch the video?
we sure did.
All right. Just give me a couple seconds. Try to set up the Cami while I have everything else open. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys see me? Yes. Thumbs up if you can see me. Hear me? Yes. 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 Dope. All right. Let's get started.
Yes.
Remember, absolute value is always a positive integer, guys. It's measuring how far a number is. So when you are presented with the problems in a minute from Mr. R, you have to, we're going to graph the integer on the number line and count the distance, okay? The answer is the distance. That's what we're looking for.
Can you guys see my screen?
Yes, perfect.
All right. Whoa. Yeah. Okay. I don't care about that.
Whoa.
There's a lot of things I have open.
I know we got a lot of stuff. All right. So again, we're learning how to find the absolute value on a number line, both vertical or horizontal, and apply to real world situations, standard 6.NS.7 and standard 6.NS.7b. Integers.
So integers is a positive and negative whole numbers, including zero. Number lines can be either horizontal or vertical. A thermometer is a good example of a vertical number line, right? And then you have different, obviously. Positive integers are greater than zero, obviously. And then to the right of the number line. So you start at zero, anything to the right of that is always going to be positive. Anything to the left of that is going to be negative, which gives me the negative one. Negative integers are less than zero and are left of the number line. Absolute value is the distance from zero. So if I tell you the absolute value, for example, is the symbol right here where it says bracket, bracket. I hope you guys see that. This is the symbol of absolute value. Hope you guys see that, right? So if I read this, the way I would read this is to read as absolute value of 8. The absolute value of 8 is actually what? 8. How do we know that? It's 8 units away from what?
0.
This is the easiest lesson, I promise, guys. If you understand this, you're good to go. Samara, you ready? You up? All right. I'm going to go straight to
So
it.
number 1. On the
Samari Holland. You're up. Okay. You going to read it or should I?
Oh, I wasn't sure. On the number line below, plot or graph -2 and 2 by drawing closed circles. So Mr. R is going to go plot -2 and 2 on the number line, right? And Samari, what do you notice from 0 and -2? How far is 0 from -2? Samari?
How far is 0 from -2 is? Wait, you said what from -2?
How far is 0 from -2? The distance from -2 to 0 is?
2.
Yep, is 2 units. And what's the distance from 0 to 2? How far is 0 from 2?
2. That she just said that.
Yes, so you just can confer or conclude that opposites, right? The opposite of a positive is a negative, and the opposite of a negative is a positive. That opposites have the same distance from 0, which means their absolute values are the same. So when opposites have the same distance from 0, it means that their absolute values are the same. So the opposite of 3 is -3 because 3 and -3 are both 3 units from 0. Looking at this one, ordering these set of integers from least to greatest. Now, this bracket in the video is read as absolute value. So the absolute value of 4, Mr. R is going to go put a something on 4, circle he chose. You're going to go to -1, he's going to circle that. He's going to go to 0. He's going to go to absolute value of 3, which is 3, because it's 3 units. And he's going to go to -2.
Now, go to right now, let's further read this, guys, from least to greatest. How would we read this, Leanna? Least to greatest. You want to go from left to right, Leanna, okay? Read that for me. Least to greatest. Go. Leanna Sanchez. Can you hear me?
Say it again. Your voice is really laggy.
Oh, sorry about that. Can you read that number for me on the number line from least to greatest?
Order these sets of integers below from least to greatest.
I circled them with the number line. That way you could go from left to right.
A little too small, but it's okay. Least to greatest. So it would be -2.
Okay.
Then next would be -1. Next would be 0. Then next would be 3. And the last number will be 4.
Everybody see how she did that? She labeled them from left to right, okay? And that's exactly how you would do it from now on, like legit. If we ask you for the absolute value and we have to ask you to label it from least to greatest, then that's exactly what you would do. Does that make sense to everyone? Thumbs up, thumbs down. Adam's trying to come in here.
All right, same concept on the next problem that Mr. R is going to have. Let's see, who's doing this one, Mr. R?
Reminiscence. Okay.
Yeah, you do this one, I'll do number 3. Go ahead, Mr. R.
Okay, so graph the following numbers on the number line by drawing the closed circles, then use the number line to find each absolute value. Reminiscence. We have the absolute value of -5, the absolute value of -5, the absolute value of 3.4, which we'll talk about in a minute. It's usually like right about here. And then 5, which is right here. Now, reminiscence. What's the absolute value of -5?
5.
Perfect. The next one is 3/4. Think about quarters. You have 3 quarters. What's the absolute value?
75 cents.
So you want to write that 0.75,
Yeah.
right? And then absolute value of 5 would be what?
-5.
Oh,
No, absolute value. I didn't say nothing about opposites. Absolute value.
Oh.
It's not a
5.
trick question. There you go. Perfect. Right. Reason being, guys, when we ask you for absolute value, just think about the distance away from 0. Realize that the distance from -5 to 0 is what? 5. Same thing with 5 from positive. Positive 5 to 0 is also 5. And then you have 3 quarters. Everybody understand the 3 quarters perspective? Because you're going to have a lot more like this. Yes?
Yes.
So it doesn't really matter if there is an absolute value of -77, right? It could be -77. What's the absolute value? 77. Does that make sense to everyone? Yes? Okay. So now that that makes sense to everyone, the next person on my list is going to be Justin. Justin, using letters A through C right above, I would like you to label them from greatest to least. Go.
Can you put the words bigger, please?
Yeah. Is that good?
Yeah, that's good.
So greatest to least.
5 is greatest.
So you said 5.
mm,
Think about that. Greatest to least.
do you write it as 5 or the absolute value of 5?
The absolute value.
You said the absolute value of 5, Mr. R.
So the absolute value of 5 is 5.
Yeah.
Okay. The next one will be
The next one will be 4
Well, A, B, and C, right? So A is 5. We have B, which is what?
B is
I think we're getting a confusion, right? So I want you guys to think about this real quick. Let me go to the drawing and draw something for you guys. Shapes, line. Gotta draw a number line, right, Miss Canela?
Mm-hmm.
Boom. And then I'm gonna make a line right here for 0. This is one arrow right here, right? This is another arrow right here. Now, what I want you guys to think about is this. Using the text box feature, I'm gonna say that this is 0, right? If I go and I go back to drawing and I draw another line, and I draw, let's say, red, I'm gonna use red. That's 0. I'm gonna say that this is 5 positive and this is another 5 negative. So negative 5 and positive 5. That's in between 0 and 1 and negative 1. If I was to read this with this, the absolute value, this part, negative 3.4, that's in between negative 1, this is 1, that will be like right here, because that means you owe me 75 cents. Does that make sense to everyone? 0.75, you read it right here, that's 3/4, that's 0.75, yes? Does that make sense to everyone? So this part right here, Ms. Canal, do you understand this?
Yes,
This is
I
what I'm
do.
doing?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So this one right here will be 0.75. I'm try, Jesus, I cannot make that
Maybe make
smaller. Oh, the text size. Okay.
choose like 14 or something.
Okay. Right. So this right here, guys, will be 0.75. Everybody see that? Yes? So the opposite of that will be negative 0.75. Now, I asked you guys, Justin in particular, I want you to think about the greatest and greatest to least. Greatest meaning is the closest to what? 0, right? And then all the way to the farthest. So we have, we're going to use the absolute values for this because the absolute value of -5 would be, so I want you guys to use this. I don't want you guys to use the absolute value. That being said, if I ask you guys again, it's going to change up. It's not going to be 5, Justin. What is it going to be?
It's not gonna be 5. It's gonna be.
Remember, greatest. So you want to go all the way from the right, all the way to the left. So on the number line, you said 5. Then what?
Then 5 minus.
Oh, really? We're missing one. Which one is B? Which is what?
B 0.75.
Yeah, 0.75, right? It's gonna stop me if you think I'm wrong. And then got one more, which is what, Justin?
5.
It won't be 5. Remember, we're not using the absolute value. We're gonna be using the regular one, which is what? Negative what?
-5.
There you go. You guys see how we went from greatest all the way to the right, to the left? Remember, greatest is the positive, all the way to the left is negative, okay? Now let's reverse that. Justin, it's you again, sir. Yes, I know. I'm picking you and I'm targeting you. That's fine. I want you to understand this, though. So we're going to go from least to greatest now. Go, Justin.
5 minus.
Or
How do you say that properly? Negative what?
Oh, -5.
There you go. And then the next one?
0.75.
Yep. And then?
5.
Does that make sense to everybody?
Yeah.
Yes, no? Miss Canella is good?
Yeah, but I have a question for you, Mr. R. Didn't you say for them to write the absolute values in the order on the line?
Yeah. Oh, I put -5. You're right.
It's okay. Like just put the
It
bracket.
would actually be... I can't do the brackets. I don't know how to.
You're gonna hit shift and then there's a line next to the little squiggly thing underneath delete. You see how there's like a slash and then a straight line?
This? Am I doing that right? I don't know.
Yeah, that's perfect. That's it. That's it.
And I got to do it to the top, right?
You got to do it to all of them, actually.
Yeah. Sorry, guys.
When you said it, I was like, wait, he said it so nicely.
Everybody see what I'm doing, though? All right, guys? The absolute value. Because if I didn't do the absolute value, it would have looked a lot different. You guys would have had a negative 0.75 instead of the negative 5. Does that make sense to everybody? Yes?
Just in the least one, next to the 5, make that a negative 5. And then on the directions underneath, make that 5, the first 5 negative 5, and the last 5 negative 5. Yeah, now we're good. Perfect.
Any questions, guys, on how we did this? Juliana, you're next, and then Kaylani, then Natalie, then Ian.
All
I
right.
hope you guys remember that order, because that order is not changing. Okay.
All
I
right.
have to delete all this stuff that I. Sorry, guys, it's a lot. I don't know.
You guys are going to see problems like this on your independent work, so I suggest you refer back to the lesson and know what absolute value is because it's asked on your exit ticket. All right.
This is Miss Canella's turn. Go, Miss Canella.
Who's doing the problem with me?
Juliana.
Juliana, so 3 roommates, right, are looking at their debts. Debt is money we owe. So a debt is money we owe. We're in the negative when we have a debt. When you take out a loan, you're in debt. You have to pay it back. So Angie has $234 in debt. So she owes us $234. Daniela owes us $192. And Ardelin owes us $293. Who owes the most money, Juliana? Which number is the farthest from 0?
$293.
Yep, which is what student? So Ardelin, well, you just told me 293, right? So that's Ardelin. So Ardelin owes the most amount of money because why? Why does she owe us the most amount of money?
Because it's not like not closest to the
You got it?
not close to the 0.
Yeah, and we call that right because it's the farthest from 0. Good job. Which is how many spaces is 0 from 293? Let's go one step higher. How far is 0 from 293, Juliana?
293.
Yeah, because it's 293 units or spaces. Yeah, I think units is better. Units from 0, away from 0. Perfect. All right, let's look at this. Mr. R is going to draw a lovely number line for us. So as he draws the number line, here's what the problem says to do. Y is 2.5 on the right of 2 on the number line, and Y is negative 3.5 on the left of negative 3 on the number line. So we know that 0 goes in the center of a number line. And we know that on the right of 0, we have the positive integers. And on to the left of 0, where the red tick mark is, we have the negative numbers. Okay, so he's going to put 0 there, and then he's going to label 1, 2, and 3 on the positive side. Right, so he's going to label it, and oh, I like that. Yeah, Mr. R, perfect. And then on the other side, he's going to label -1, -2, -3, -4, because you'll see why. -4, -3, -2, and -1. So we want, So we want to know, according to the question, y is -2 to the right of 2. And who was doing that one, Mr. R? I can't hear you.
Kaylani.
Keelani, y is 2.5 to the right of 2.
2.5 is to the right of 2 because
Is it greater than or less than 2?
it's greater than
Would you rather have $2 or have $2.50?
2.5.
Right. So the answer that we would write for the first part is that 2.5 is greater than 2 on the number line. Oh, sorry, I'm gonna let Mr. R finish, hold on. Okay, now he's getting up to the text. 2.5 is greater than 2 on the number line. Now, the next question is, why is negative 3.5 on the left of negative 3?
Because it's greater than 3.
But we're dealing with a negative number. So my question to you is, would you rather owe me $3 or would you rather owe me $3.50?
$3.
Right. So therefore, negative 3.5 is what to 3? You just said it. Is it less than? There you go. It's less than 3 on the number line. Perfect. I want everyone to see that, right? Because in between negative 3 and negative 4 is negative 3.5. You'd rather owe me less negative, less money.
All right. So real quick, guys, you guys understand this, right? Yes? 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 Natalie, you understand this? Everybody thumbs up if you understand this. Thumbs up. I want to see your thumbs. If I don't see your thumb, I'm assuming that you don't understand anything I'm talking about. All right. That being said, I'm going to kick it up a notch, and we're going to go a little bit faster.
Yeah.
Because I'm wasting too much time on this.
Mr. R, for the next problem, when they have to do the order, we can just pick like 3 to do with them.
All right. So this is a little bit more of what you guys will be doing, so you might want to pay attention, okay? All right. So it says, when we order rational numbers, their opposites are in the opposite order. For example, if 7 is greater than 5 or is negative 7 is less than negative 5, I'll give you a little hint what's going to happen. The first one that we have, I'm going to choose Adam to help me out real quick. Adam, so I want you to unmute yourself really quickly, and I want you to help me out. We have the first set of rational numbers, which is negative 1.75 and negative 3.25. I would like you to order that greatest to least, meaning the one that's closest to 0 in this case, because we're in the negative portion, and then the one that's farthest away from 0. Got it?
Yeah.
All right, so the first number is going to be greatest to least. Go. 1.75 or 3.25? Which one?
1.75.
Negative 1.75.
Yeah, negative
right?
1.75.
And then?
And then negative 3.25.
Perfect. And now the farthest to the right is going to be what?
3.25. Negative 1.75.
Negative 1.75. And the reason that is because you only owe $1, right?
Yeah.
You only owe $1.75. If you would have told me you owe $3.25, it would have been all the way over here. So the one closest to the right is right here. Does that make sense?
Yes, that makes sense.
Okay, farthest to the left in this case, meaning the one that you owe the most money in will be what?
Negative 3.25.
Perfect.
Negative 3.75. 25, right? Yeah, sorry. Does that make sense to everyone? Thumbs up if you understood that one. All right, Natalie, you're next. Negative 9.7 or negative 9. Order from least to greatest. From greatest to least, sorry. Natalie.
Oh, she said 9, negative 9, Mr. R, she wrote in the chat.
Oh, I need you to speak, but okay. Negative 9.
Negative 97.
Negative
9, comma, negative 9.7. Okay. And farthest to the right is going to be what?
Huh?
Farthest right on the number line would be what?
The farthest on the right of the line, minus 9.
closest to 0.
It's real hard to hear.
9.
9, negative
9. Negative 9 is correct.
9.
Farthest to the left is going to be what? I'm assuming you're going to say
Negative 97.
Good.
yeah. Good. The next one is Ian. We're going to skip. Thank you. The next one, Ian, help me out. Negative 15 and negative 5. What is from greatest to least?
Negative 5.
Yep. And
Negative 15.
then the next box is what? Farthest to the right.
-5.
Good. And then the next one.
-15.
Good. And then we're gonna do Abigail. Abigail, you hear me?
Yeah.
All right, Abigail, help me out. -99, -100, and -99.3. Order it from greatest to least.
The greatest is -100.
Greatest, the one that's closest to 0.
The greatest is -99.
The next one.
-99.3.
And the next one.
-100.
Perfect.
Okay. And then I would like you to tell me which one is the farthest to the right.
The
The one
farthest is -100.
From
farthest to the right. Remember, your negative line goes this way, right? Left. So the one that's closest to 0 is going to be what?
-99.
There you go. And then the farthest from left, now you can say it. Negative what?
-100.
Perfect. Yerlin, you're next. And this is the last one. Okay? Yerlin, you ready?
Yeah.
Okay. So you have 0.05. When you have 0.05, that's 5 cents. When you have 0.5, that's 50 cents. Okay? Cool?
Yeah.
Okay. So order from greatest to least. Which one is the closest to 0?
0.5.
That's 50 cents. What's
0.05.
closer? 5. There you go. 0.0 what?
0.5.
Good. And then next one is what?
0.5.
good.
Good. And then the farthest to the right, meaning the most you have, is what?
Negative.
Out of those numbers only, 0.05 or 0.5?
0.5.
Mm-hmm.
Good. Why? Because 50 cents is larger than 5 cents, yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And then the farthest to the left, meaning which one is the smallest amount, is 0. What?
0.5.
0 point. There you go.
0.05, right? Because that's the other one, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You guys see how we did that? Okay. Emma, do you understand this? Emma,
I'll do the
you
next
good?
one.
All right. Emma, you're going to do the last one real quick. 0.02 and 0.04. Remy says, I need you to turn on your camera. Justin, your camera. Emma, go for it.
Okay. Wait, is it like the other ones, right?
We're doing
Yeah, so
It goes
greatest.
to the 0 to the one that was farthest, right?
Right. Yep.
So it goes -2.
Yep.
Well,
0.2, comma, and then the next one is what?
-0.04.
Yep. And then you want to label the one that's farthest to the right, the one that's closest to 0.
-0.02.
And then the farthest.
-0.034.
Perfect. Any questions? No? Ms. Canola, you good with this?
I agree.
All right.
We're already 10:37, Mr. R. So maybe on the next one we can pick like quick ones and then maybe show them their exit ticket so they see.
Sure.
No,
So
wait,
you want me to go right here?
do this one. Number 6. Leanne, who didn't have a turn yet, Mr. R? Did
Well, I
Leanne?
don't know, but I have a lot of cameras off. You're laying remises. Your cameras must be turned on, guys. I will take points off. Don't play.
Gerlin and
Oh,
to the bathroom.
I didn't know that. Okay.
Okay.
Kaylani.
Okay, Keelani. Find the absolute value of each number. So A, the absolute value of 7 is what? Remember, the distance from 0. How far is 0 from 7?
7 units.
Good, 7 units. Adam, B, the absolute value of -1, Adam. Can't hear you, Adam.
It's +1.
Good. Ian, the absolute value of 2, Ian. Ian,
The opposite?
the absolute value of 2, not opposite. How far is 0 from 2?
2.
Good. Next one. Justin Bodo, the absolute value of -3, Justin.
The opposite value of -3 is 3.
Perfect. Emma, the absolute value of -1, Emma.
1.
1. Samiri, the absolute value of 10.
10.
10.
Unit.
Who said the absolute value of 0? What is that?
0.
Good. All right, do we have time to order these integers, Mr. R? We should move on. What do you think? Can't hear you, sir. Mr. R. I can't hear you, Mr. R.
Hello?
Yes, now I can hear you.
I said it's on you.
All right, let's order these. Let's order the absolute values in order from least to greatest. So the one that's the farthest from the left. I think looking at the absolute value, you're going to look at the number in the bracket. So the one that's the farthest from the left is absolute value of -3, right? So that would be choice,
Which will be letter D, right?
right? Absolute value of -3. The next ones, then you would have B and E because they're equal. They're both -1. They're only 1 unit from 0. B and E. Then after that, the next number, getting closer and closer to 0, we're going to be C, absolute value of 2. Then after that one, right, the absolute value of 7. Oof, Miss Canella can't speak today, is 7. And then last but not least is F, the absolute value of 10. You have to remember that the absolute value is the distance a number is from 0. It's always positive. Now we're just going to take what we just did in G and revert it. Face and then BD. It's the same thing, just opposite way. All right? Let's move on. I know that was really quick, but if you have a number line, just remember, least to greatest, you read it from left to right. These are extension. And greatest to least, you read them from right to left. Let's go over what you're going to see on your exit ticket real quick. Is the opposite of -6.5 and the absolute value of 6.5 the same? Who remembers from the very beginning? I think it was problem 1. What did we discover about opposites?
Leanna, go. What did we discover about opposite?
Please say that again. Y'all are like lagging. Y'all don't look like y'all
Yeah.
moving.
So what do we discover about opposites on a number line? Do they have the same distance or not?
They have the same distance.
Right. So clearly, if you graph -6.5 and +6.5, you would count and they are the same. I said if you were to graph 6.5, which is in between 6 and 7, and if you graph -6.5, it's in between -6 and -7, they have the same distance. So the answer would be they have the same distance from 0, which means they have the same absolute value. So you would pick A. Mr. R, you want to do number 2?
No, I'm gonna stop right here actually and get feedback.
Okay, awesome. Oh yeah, I didn't realize it's already time. All right, guys.
So guys, real quick, you're gonna see a lot more problems with this. I realized that Ramesses left class early. Don't know why.
Oh, that's
Yeah. So real quick, thumbs up if you understood today's lesson. Yeah. Okay. It's not that hard, right? It's kind of very simple. Do you owe money? He wants to come back in actually. So
Huh?
Ramesses, I think he got disconnected. That's what it was.
Oh.
Yeah, I just let him back in. But real quick, if you understood today's lesson, then you're good to go. However, if you did not,
You could say that.
let me be very clear. If you did not, guys, and I also got an announcement, so don't go anywhere. Tomorrow I will not be here. I have an appointment. Miss Camilla will be in the session. She's going to pre-record every session. So that being said, I would expect you guys nothing but the best behavior, obviously, and to being here on time and doing what you got to do. However, if you did not understand the absolute value today, just remember that absolute value is a distance away from 0. It doesn't matter if you have -1,000. The distance is going to be the same, whether you put that number opposite or not. Does that make sense? So if you owe $1,000, guess what? You owe $1,000. That's it. Like there's no negative, there's no positive. That's it. 1,000. Does that make sense to everyone? Yes, no, maybe. I honestly don't know what you guys think because you guys are so quiet, and I respect being quiet, but this is the time that I need to hear you. If you guys got confused, I would like you to unmute yourself and just tell me where you got confused at. Go.
Now's your time, guys. Ask us. So we expect 100 then on exit tickets and independent work then? From all of
Oh, okay. So remember that you also have iReady homework, right? I expect 30 minutes to be completed today on iReady. I also expect your independent practice to be completed. And I also expect your exit tickets to be completed.
by what
With
time, Mr. R?
Three things by 4:15. There's some of you that have an extension and you know who you are. I will not tell you who you are. You should know who you are. Does that make sense to all of you?
Yes, but I have a question for Miss Canella. What
Yeah.
if you spend 76 minutes on a lesson? Like, not just a lesson, like more than like, let's say,
That's,
2 or like 3 lessons. Is that okay?
yeah, no, that's fine. As long as you give us, you have to give 30 minutes every day. So you can spend 2 hours. We don't care. As long as you give 30 minutes a day, by the end of the week, you have 150 minutes. You earn 100 on our homework. No, actually,
I'm gonna end today's session. I'm gonna end this session. If you guys want to speak more, please email us or we're good to go.